So I'm just editing my Distractions 1 video, and I said there probably wouldn't be another Distractions video, but that is not the case, because I thought of another distraction while I was editing that. Um, so there's distractions from depression. This feeds into things like suicide and things. If you're depressed and you're feeling very bad depression, almost suicidal, then the way you normally feel better and get out of that, I find, is distractions. And the distractions can take a number of forms. You can argue whether the distractions are like healthy or not healthy. So alcohol is a distraction from depression. Things I call vices, I guess, are like the less healthy distractions from depression, but they do work to take your mind off it and therefore not kill yourself. So you got things like porn, sex, alcohol. People take drugs. I take caffeine. I don't generally take drugs of any other sort. So some people smoke to calm themselves down. Some people drink away their sorrows. Good ones are more like music and exercise. Some people just kind of lift weights and go for a walk or go for a run. I don't find that works. Some people have comedy to get them out of it. When I'm depressed, I don't really feel in the mood for like comedy stuff. So music normally gets me out better. Things to occupy your mind are a good distraction. So this isn't like necessarily you getting distracted by things. This is you purposefully choosing to be distracted away from something that you know is nagging your mind. Like, I don't know, just thoughts of no worth, or thoughts of death, or thoughts of like there's too many obstacles in my life to overcome, I'm not going to overcome them, like life is over. All these kind of thoughts that get in when you're depressed. Art is a fairly good one for helping get out of depression. Writing is, but not always, because sometimes you're writing a story for a certain mood, and that's not necessarily the mood that your mind is. So I find that you can't always write the story that you're continuing to write if you've got depression. But there's stories of World War One where there were war poets and they're in the trenches, like people dying all around them, and that somehow inspired that horror inspired their poetry and stuff even more than it would if they were just at home, sat at home. Different things are effective for different people, and when I say effective, I just mean effective at quelling the depression, like comfort eating. Eating food is effective at quelling the depression, however, it does make you more overweight, and I've suffered with comfort eating a little bit. So, when I get more depressed, I put on a bit of weight than when I'm less depressed, I think. I can imagine for some people that might work in reverse, so they'd not eat because they just wouldn't have an appetite or a hunger, so they'd get too thin from being depressed. I can see that as a thing. But yeah, there's a type of distraction there that you purposefully take on to get yourself out of the depths of depression, at least temporarily. Here's another one. Your body is a distraction from what you're doing. Really small seeming things like an itch or something. Or you noticing your nail is split, or you noticing there's like something in your eyebrow, or that there's like something in your hair, or you've got a cut or a wound or a burn. You've got to keep, you feel it, so you look down and you try and attend to it and try and sort it out so it's not getting in the way of what you're doing. Like these little bodily things that happen with your body that seem quite small to a lot of people, but in your world, when you're trying to focus on things or when you're trying to do something, you feel an itch and you have to quickly address it, or you have to work out what's going on with your clothes that is making your body too uncomfortable to walk, or your shoes on too tight, or you've cut off blood flow to part of your body by wearing like a tight band somewhere and it's too tight. All sorts of things like this, like little, I don't know what you would call it, discrepancies with your body, moment to moment, stop you doing things. A funny one, I think there was a huge Twitter thread around it that I remember, is like, you're in World War, you're in a war, right? You're in a war. You're a sniper. Let's say World War One. You're poking your head out of the trench. The enemy's near. They might be in your vision soon. They're gonna come towards you and gas you. You have an itch in your hand. It's like your hand is too cold to you've lost the feeling in your hand because your hand's too cold, so you've got no feeling in the fingertips. And the gun you're holding is, obviously it's metal in a lot of places, so it's like conducting the heat away from your hand, making it even colder. Or it's like you're about to sneeze, you have the enemy in your sights and he's gonna kill your entire squad with a grenade, and you have him right in the crosshairs, right there, but you need to sneeze. It's like it takes a lot of effort, actually, a lot of, I don't know, you need an incredible amount of strength sometimes to overcome a bodily urge that happens, like just an itch, to stop yourself scratching it. It's like you need to like really like tie my hands behind my back or something, bite my lip. How do I stop this thing from happening? Stop my body responding to my body. That's a real big distraction, that is. And people don't talk about it. People like, just fuck off, get over it. It's not, it's not important, put up or shut up. People naysay it and say, how could it possibly be that something so small could affect what you're doing in such a large way? But it really does. Or you got a tick where your hand like shakes. There's your body is you've got kind of electrical impulses in your body. What do they call it? Bioelectricity. So sometimes just out of nowhere you'll get this like jolt, this little jolt in your hand, as if you're getting like Parkinson's disease or something. Or what's the one where you got kind of the shakes or something, and it's sort of involuntary. Sometimes when someone doesn't have a disease or condition like that, they're just like a normal person, you just sometimes get this bioelectric shake, and it's involuntary. You can do nothing about it, like your knee shakes or your hip shakes or your wrist, and it just like happens out of nowhere, and then that's that. And like, yeah, again, if you're a sniper and you're taking aim and that suddenly happens to you, or what if you get a foot cramp while you're trying to crouch walk or something? Yeah, all these little tiny little bodily discrepancies are a distraction that is quite major, but no one really addresses it or gives leeway to it in life. And I think they should, but it's not really talked about.